Well, wait a moment and see if my two faithful witnesses, Scotty Boy and Great Lakes, are going to join us. Perhaps they're self employed and the weather is changing. When spring comes, maybe they'll be re employed and not have so much time. New props, new reminders. I'm going to take time out of my busy day. I have a lot going on. Been very busy behind the scenes, if you will. Well, it looks as though no one's joining. So I guess we'll do a little future topics. Fear, word. We have to carefully. I broke my other glasses. We have to analyze these words and figure out what they truly mean. Do some more science and world history. And I was hoping that there would be someone that would join me in further questions. I need those questions from Scotty Boy, and I need those questions from Great Lakes. It's so important to interact with the audience. It can help guide even those couple, but those questions will also be seen by many, and then those will help answer questions for many that might come here at a later date. So, uh, talk about this for just a minute. Maybe someone will show up. This book was a synonym and dictionary combination published in 1989. There's over 350,000 words in here. And I'm beginning to analyze these words, some key ones. I've made myself a new word here, MWE or MEW, which would mean muy for me, muy, which means myself and all included, but also myself and my miracle twin. MeWe Pro is an encrypted service. Oddly enough, they named it MeWe too. Me and we. In other words, these businesses have got communications where they can't be easily hacked. All things can be hacked, but this won't be easily hacked by others. So they can have private conversations and not worry about their competitors getting information, uh, easily knowing what their plans are, what they're planning to do. So this is a very expensive service that's offered to Connective Consciousness, which is a group that's just what it says, connecting consciousness. We come together, we're stronger. We can do so much more when we're open and trusting and we come together. So, no one's showing up here. Um, Mainly, the main idea was to I'm going to be very busy, and I just wanted proof of life. Have no fear. The hack is here. I'm the hacker. What's that mean? I've been hacking since seventh grade. From second grade, I started hacking. Maybe before that. What does that mean? That means that I was dyslexic. I believe maybe Scotty Boy might be dyslexic. And as he has a problem with spelling and typing, the two kind of go together. Uh, no matter how hard I tried in second grade to read, even before that, to be able to do the alphabet forward and backwards, you would get a sucker if you were good. And you accomplished this goal that was set for you. I struggled and struggled. And when I finally did do it, I got my one sucker and I wanted to do it more. Somewhere along the line, I'm not exactly certain where, my parents were told, he's bright, but he's lazy. And know you're suffering. I was trying. I was trying and trying and trying. So the first hack, memorable hack. Second grade, I had a book by about Abraham Lincoln. And I was to read this book and give a report. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I couldn't read this book. So, on the back of a book, there is a little brief, this one's you can make that out? Why not? What's going on with my light here? Yeah, that book, this little book here. Yeah, I've got some work to do in there too with a friend in Egypt. You get this little description on the back about what you're about to read, an advertisement to interest you into reading it. So, at 2, I could take time and in a form of like critical reading, but real slow through the back of that description there. And I would formulate an idea, and then I would attempt to write whatever I was writing, and then I could go through the book and read sections and just put together a few little sections, and that would be a book report. So, my first hack, I wasn't able to accomplish reading the book. I got the gist of what the book was going on, and I hacked here and there, here and there. I would get very, very slow, very painful. I would bring whole words from the back of the sentence and bring them into the center of the sentence. And then, of course, I would write E's upside down and backwards. And it was just a nightmare, and it was a mess, and I don't know how to describe it. You'd have to experience it. But anyhow, so I learned to hack at an early age that what everybody else found so easy was so difficult for me that I had to make some adjustments if I was going to uh, fulfill their goals for me, if you will. That I was going to get a balanced education with a next to. When I got to college, I was at an 8th grade, 4th month reading level. I only had I did a 2-year program in 3 years. Why did it take so long? First year basically was in the reading lab. Vocabulary wasn't too bad. These are just truths. Just my truths. I plight thee my troth, my painful truths. Um, so I learned a SQR3 for one out of Cornell University. Read, write, and recite. A bunch of study techniques and test taking skills that were very useful. I graduated cum laude, even though I failed college algebra. Why did I fail algebra? Well, it wasn't in my required classes, and I was taking it just for my own betterment, which is a lot of what I do is about bettering myself Now, however that, whatever painful truth that is, whatever we have to do to better ourselves. But I had just taken on too much and ended up having to drop the class. Of course, that was no problem. I was told that you could take an incomplete and then you could come back and retake the course, and all you'd have to do is take the testing. So, well, within less than a year, that policy had changed because the school's all about money. They want your money. That's the bottom line. That's why classes don't transfer well from one school to another, because they want to take they want your money. They won't honor a class even though it may be as good or even better than the one that they offer. Get with a counselor if you're going to go to school. Figure out which classes are transferable if you're planning on going on. It's all about money. Everything's about money, guys. So, I'm a hacker. And there's genius in being a good hacker. Well, maybe not genius, but advantages. So, for one, as I went through physics and did this chronological history of physics, um, looking to see where we went wrong, because I had already figured out a bunch. And as I went through it, I knew what to ignore because I knew this was wrong. So, just as you learn to discern things, I did the same as I studied physics. When I knew something was wrong, I didn't waste my time there. I moved on. I just put that aside and disqualified it. And then I qualified what I knew was kind of on the right track and where they had failed. So, well, I guess no one's joining me. Uh, yeah, I got a lot to do on this. And one of the notes I wanted to make sure I mentioned was in cursive writing. Why are we not teaching the children in cursive writing anymore? It's actually more efficient. You can flow. Now, I do a lot of caps and I do a lot of printing, but in cursive is actually quicker. Why discourage the use of it? Well, it's probably because the human mind can decipher in cursive. Who can't? The computer. That you get to know a person's handwriting in cursive. You get a drift of what their letters and their squiggles are, but those are totally confusing to a computer. So why in cursive? They don't want it used. So use the hell out of it. Use in cursive every time you want to make a meaningful message, a secret code, if you will. Write it in cursive. Take a picture of it and send it to your friends. It's harder to be interpreted by the computer. So, world history. I got a lot to do with world history. I was just going to touch on it today, as I was hoping that Great Lakes would join us. I'm going to ask him a couple questions. I actually like to ask Great Lakes. I'd like to ask Scotty. I would like to ask any of these people that follow this video to volunteer to do some work. I've got a lot of work to do here. There's a lot to be done. Why? Because we're building a new future. This is our future here, this saw. This is your future if we don't establish world peace. This is not my future, this handsaw. Oh, I'll keep the handsaw. I'll keep the handsaw. But me and my higher self, my reconnection to consciousness, say, not me. I'm going to go peace. It's peace or this saw. It's peace or this saw. What does that mean? That means that there are powers. There are powers that be. There are other life forms in this galaxy that we live in. And if we think that we're going to get to keep our nuclear bombs and we're going to just clean up this mess with the cabal, the dark forces, and we're just going to restart, they really won't want us to have free energy, guys. They really won't want us to have anti-gravity technology. They really won't want us to get beyond the Van Allen belt and spread more war in the world. Oh, well, we're going to clean all that up, right? Any structure that is built on hierarchy leads to war. That which is not peace. So this is a message to anybody about in the beginning. You know how well that comes in here. I'll read it anyhow. In the beginning of this whole project here, I was just going to share some science. And it was finally just going to, I figured that whoever I was hiding it from already had it anyhow. So it wasn't going to do any harm for me to share it publicly. So within days, I get this message from someone that was out at my webpage, which that's another story. My webpage is, I'm doing nothing with my webpage, and there's a good reason for that, and I will reveal that at the appropriate time. Why I'm not doing anything with that webpage right now. Put me under this book, Return of the Bird Tribe. And honoring this person, I went out and looked to see what this book was about. And I didn't have a chance to get to the library to order the book, but there was Grace Butler read it for me. So at meals, when I sat down to have a meal, it's, taking a break, or when I just wanted to shut down thought, I'd let Grace read me this book. So it was very important. And whoever put me onto it made the comment that this hawk that came to me meant something very special, and that I should pay attention. Well, I subliminally got that message, and I did go into action. So there's an audio book out there. If you can get a copy of it, great. It'll help you dream, and it'll help you awaken distant memories. That this process that we're going through right now, all of us are tapping into something that seems to be new, but it's actually quite old. And that you need to stimulate it. What do you need to do? You need to be aware of situations and things. Be aware about which there is something unexplained and arouses your curiosity or speculation. So it's reoccurrences of things. You constantly being shown something. I was folding things for some reason. That may be important down the road. And then I wrote down here, pay attention to these. They are teachings as well. You're being given a guide. You're being given guidance. These will guide you. There are lessons to be learned by you. You're actually making available lessons to others as you're doing this. But you need to be aware of them. You need to pay attention. You need to be alert to these things that are happening, because each and every one of us is going to reconnect. That's what's going on here. We're reconnecting. We're connecting to higher self, and you can call that many things, but there's actually going to be a merger of higher self and yourself. At first, you'll think you've lost your mind. And you might think this is fanciful thinking. Well, if you're capable of thinking it, then it's possibly not fanciful. Um, you have not lost your mind. Believe and trust in others. Believe in yourself. Trust in others. So, I've been I've been gifting a lot here as of recently, uh, and when you give in the hopes that your gift will be well received. That in giving, you're entrusting something to someone. That I'll give you an example. In uh, being being with no faith or with being without faith, no, I have faith, but in faith and in trust and in believing the very message that I'm conveying, that I have to lead by example. So, what does that mean? Well, I suggest spring is almost here. No more winter hat. As I believe that these things I am suggesting, declaring, prophesizing, whatever you want to call it, that there's going to be a financial collapse. It's actually already occurred as far as the U.S. goes. The Fed is broke. My state is broke. Right now, with this fear created by the virus, let's just call it FV or VF, whatever, since we have to be careful about how we talk. So, these are the things I believe. So, I stepped up and I gifted something. I'm a landlord, and I checked on my tenants to see if they had been put out of work. Initially I was going to offer them a month off of their rent, uh, in case they had needs. And the more I thought about it, I decided that I'm here and I am one. And in the future, maybe my daughter might need a 4-bedroom home, but that future is far away, and much can happen in between here and there. So there were some things that they had asked me to do. They're very good tenants. They asked for almost nothing, but they did ask me that I take down this pine tree because it's been dead for 5 years. And I knew I had some appliances that had broke, and they replaced or I replaced, or it was a mixture of both. But there was some appliances that needed to be removed. They need to be recycled somehow because I don't want to just fill the landfill. So they'll either be repaired and reused, or I'll make something out of them. Very creative. So back to point, I decided that I would gift them the house, that I would take one more payment from them in hopes to take that money and fix my truck. I'm thinking in the future, and I think I have one more thing I need to do with that truck. Welcome, Great Lakes. Free energy. You missed the beginning. How can you say trust others when you don't trust others? Ooh, why? Yes, the gold standard is coming back. No, I'm afraid not. The gold standard's not coming back. Why do you say, Great Lakes, I don't trust others? What is your point that I don't trust others? I'm trusting a lot of people there. You don't agree with me about trusting others? Well, if you're not willing to trust others, then you're not trustworthy. You have to be willing to trust yourself first and then trust others. So um, if we don't trust others, Scotty, or excuse me, Great Lakes. This is our future here. This handsaw. This represents no free energy. This represents no anti gravity. If you don't start trusting people, then this is your future. Why? You missed the beginning. Because if we don't get peace, this is what we get. We get put back into the dark ages. Why do we get put back into the trust those who see a brighter future? I trust those who see a brighter future. Okay, so I'm going to just try to save you some typing. I'm going to assume that you expect the cabal to be taken down, our government to be cleaned up, and our gold standard be set up, and mission accomplished. Everything's revealed. We're all enlightened, and we're all good to go. Is that about what you're thinking? We create our own reality, and in thinking there is no good left isn't good for anyone. All is good. All is good that we make good. So, do you agree with that analogy? In a nutshell, yes. Okay. So, here's the problem: that if we have a hierarchy in our system where we have one person is worth more than another person, that in time we'll be back at war, back at that which is not peace. So why do I say that? We only need to open this book right here, World History. Rises and falls and rises and falls, the dark ages, and back and back and back and forth. And always we build and we build, and boom, people get greedy. People get draw lines in property, trespassing. Scotty, good to see you. Yes, I agree that that is correct. Trump is the last president. Yes, 1,000 years of peace. That is exactly right. But the only way we can get to peace, is that we come together and become peace. I know that I wanted to talk about this now that Great Lakes is here and Scotty Boy's here. I mentioned you earlier too. You'll have to back up and look at it later. We're going to do a bunch on world history. That's going to be a big topic. So, but you had mentioned that we needed no messiahs. We needed no great genius. We needed none of that. Only way is truth. Everybody must know that. That is a correct statement. We all have to be truthful, honest, even if it's painful. So, I wanted to ask Great Lakes, when was it that we stopped needing these amazing figures in the world? Would you say maybe 17th, the 18th, the 19th century? When do you think it quit? When did we stop having these great teachers, these great teachings from a single individual? What? Just like give me a time period, if you will. I'll kind of wait. Collect my thoughts while I wait. The cat got your tongue? You know where that statement comes from? Pack out your tongue. There's so many things about analysis. Let's see. Not sure. People just always look for to something else besides what's inside them. We don't need anyone. We are born pure and perfect. I was asking you, that's all true. I was asking you, when was the last need? When did we stop needing them? What at what time period? Skyboy, that's a damn good question. Yeah, I asked him. He won't answer. He won't answer. He won't tell me when we stopped needing these people. When we stopped needing these amazing individuals. When was it? When did this phenomena begin? And Scotty Boy, you're welcome to take a hack at that if you want. Just a century, just a year. When was it? I want to save some time by making a point here. Felix says, I don't know. Well, um, there's been so many. Maybe I'll have to do a whole program on that alone. Um, I'll give you a very important one. I'll give you a very important one. And I'll ask this question: who was the last Masonic figure, if you will? Who was the last great teacher? Who was the last, the most powerful individual of the 20th century? Got a clue? Yeah, that's a long time ago, 2,000 years ago. He put in Jesus, or since there was no J, I'll say Jesus, Jesus. Yes, that was one. But let's think of one. Who was the most powerful individual of the 20th century? JFK. He was one. Absolutely. Good answer. Good answer. There was one before him. Just before him, there was another super powerful one. He said JFK. That's many children wouldn't know that. That's uh, John F. Kennedy, who was powerful, and he had to be stopped. They took him out. Come on, there's. Think of one, Scotty boy. I want one more. I want one more from you guys. Then I'll tell you what I think. Who the greatest one of the 20th century was, and no idea who will be the greatest of the 21st. Not a clue. Many, I hope. Many, many. There'll be so many that we won't be able to count them. That they'll fill up this book right here. Just their first names. The president who was assassinated was JFK. Yes, John F. K. All right. Well, you're not getting where I wanted you to get. It was Nikola Tesla, the most recent. Nikola Tesla, for one. He came and his teachings and his miracles that he performed in the creation of everything that we have electric. And another one would be Schauberger, Victor Schauberger. Victor Schauberger was to water what Tesla was to electricity. We owe everything, electronic, everything, anything to do with electricity. That was Nikola Tesla. He was the last Masonic figure. He was born in not Latavia, Austria. I'm not sure where he was born. He came to the U.S. He suffered and worked for Edison, and he created all this genius stuff. And then when he got to a point that he shut him down, that was when he suffered, and then he suffered and died. And that was our last great Masonic leader. Oh, Scotty's got to wake up a little bit. Oh, maybe you were, Scotty, maybe you were awoke at 3. I do that a lot, 2 and 3, get up, write down a bunch of stuff till I'm fatigued, and then I go back to bed. Who funded his research when they cut off his money? Well, J.P. Morgan was involved with that. He wanted to sell copper. He did not like Tesla, so I know he cut funding because Tesla wanted to go wireless with the distribution of energy. And I should know that. I don't recall who was funding Tesla, but when they figured out what he was doing, they cut his funding. So here's another one that we're not aware of. Let me show you this. Enrico Fermi. Enrico Fermi. Enrico Fermi, Nobel Prize winner. This little diagram here is a neutron gun blasting in to split the atom and starting a chain reaction. This led to the nuclear bomb. And they give a little brief description of it. All right. And see, now I'm being conservative because I'm giving away a lot of stuff. So now I'm using recycled paper. See, President Roosevelt received a coded message. The Italian navigator has landed in the New World. That was in 1942. That's when Enrico Fermi, who later went on to have the Fermi Laboratory named after him. Great Lakes wrong. Exactly. What's wrong with what did I say that was wrong? Trump is Trump will be very notable, but he'll be shiny, and then he'll be deglossed. I'm afraid. Deglossed meaning his fame will be taken away. He was funded by Trump. Great Lake. Nikola Tesla was funded by Trump. Or was it Drump then? D-R-U-M-P, because they changed the name from Drump to Trump. I'm not sure what you're saying. The point is, here's the point. This guy, few people know this. Few people know this. So, 1942, this happened. Roosevelt gets the message. What did everybody came together. All the greatest minds all came together. Everybody came together. To do what? To make that which is not peace. Tesla, yes, look it up. Trump family has known about Tesla tech for many, many years. That is correct also. At least for certain, his brother, or his uncle, Trump's uncle knew about it. He was the very man that went into his apartment. Or no, the FBI went into his apartment and grabbed his affairs, and his uncle did the analysis of it because Ferdinand Bush, no relation to the Bush family that I know of, who was the top guy, was busy doing a project. But back to this. 1942, we brought all these people together. Why? To make that which is not peace. What did we call this project? Philadelphia Project. We brought them all back together. Well, why did they call it the Philadelphia? There's code in all of this. There's code in all of these words. My jacket here, over here, where I went to demonstrate. This one was at D.C. The following was to demonstrate at Philadelphia again. Whoa! What Philadelphia? Philadelphia Project. Philadelphia. What's in Philadelphia? What does Philadelphia mean? Oh my gosh! Is that where they signed the original Constitution? Here I went to. I made some notes on a paper there. See, I was in in Philadelphia, and I had taken this along because I was talking about science with everybody I could run into. I wrote down directions here to how to get to the People's Convention, 320 Arch Street, Philadelphia, PA. All right, Philadelphia. Amazing speaker was there. We thought Bernie Sanders was coming, but thank goodness we were blessed instead with Nina Turner, dynamic woman, dynamic speaker, dynamic visionary. So I just did 2-3 minutes of analysis on this word Philadelphia, because we're going to do a whole class. We're going to do a whole talk on word. So Phi, that's the beginning of Philadelphia. Phi, 21st letter of the Greek alphabet. All right. We'll go to Phi in a little bit. And then we have Adelphia or Delphi. Delphi is an ancient Greek city where the oracle of Apollo was located. Now, we can argue about what oracle means, but it's kind of, for me, that says a spiritual connection. And what was Apollo? Apollo was a god. So Delphia kind of means something to do with mysterious spirits and this thing they're calling a god. Okay. Now, Phi, it's a voiceless bilabial figurative. What does that mean? It means that you close your lips, Phi, but it isn't actually, the Greek is far, or something like that. Let's see if I got this up here yet. Let's do a sound check. Let's do a sound check. We've got time. That's going to take a few minutes today, but let's see. Open up some different pages here. Certainly, I've got that up here yet. There we go. Try that.
Fa.
Can you guys hear that at all? Let me know if you can hear that.
Fa.
Maybe I'll have to turn it up some more. Now it should be better.
Fa.
That's a. How many words in the? How many words can you make without exhaling? Can you say words while you're inhaling? And it's a word that is voiceless. Is the meaning is it is a voiceless. You close your lips to do it. Fa. So now. Adelphi, or Delphi we talked about, but Adelphi is a brother or a sibling, is from the same womb. So we have something to do with voiceless, and we have something to do with a brotherhood, a sibling from the same womb. I'm thinking that this might have to do with my pyramid over here that I had up that had no capstone, but on that capstone, some put a number. I won't even say which number right now. I'll do that in the program too. So there's all this code in our language. When we come together for that which is not war, we make a big heyday, big deal about it. Whoa, it's just wonderful. It's amazing. Whoa, we saved the day. Well, no, actually, we lost the war. That's another story. They won. They always win. They win. If you back both sides, you never have a loser. So these are going to be some topics that we're going to cover. You guys can back up and see what I said about that. I do want to keep this brief because I got a lot to do. I started to talk about trust, and that I gave my renters my house. I gave it away. Point being is that I don't need it, and they're going to need a place to live. And I told them that to make the last payment to me, and then the payments that they're going to make in the future, they put in an account, their own account, and they link it over to my account, so that if they wanted to gift me, return something to me, that they could transfer it over to my account like that, the click of the button on the computer. Now, what did I tell them I wanted to do? I entrusted them to do. That is entirely up to them. That I'm giving and I'm entrusting that they do something good and beneficial for society. So I asked them to build this account, and anything that they thought they needed in the future, that it didn't have to be the full amount. It was their decision, as they prepare. That they build this account, and that at some point in time, if they've got this account, I'm trusting them to do this. If they've got this account built, that I will call them at some point in time and say, start buying these certain provisions. That I know water will be on the list. Lots of water. There's a 4-car garage that goes with this property. There's no reason their vehicles can't sit outside. They could be a warehouse, in other words. So that they would buy these provisions, water being one of them, and then a list of other things that we would need to open a soup kitchen. Because as we've seen, and we will not be offering toilet paper, as we have seen, people are in fear, and they go out in fear and they do things, and they empty the shelves. So when we recover from the FC or the CF, that's coronavirus. Coronavirus. It sounds like a scientific term, but it's the fear of what? Anything that's made them go out and hoard. So they take everything off the shelf, and then no one has any. They think about themselves only. They think only of themselves, unless they're taking it home to share it with somebody. But point is that a soup kitchen will be necessary for those that didn't prepare or couldn't prepare because they have no money. Now, in my gesture, in my giving, I've given it up to them. I have entrusted them to do whatever they believe is right. And that whatever they do, that is totally their business. I've done what I'm going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. And they're either going to build this fund for me or they're not. And I forgive them if they don't, because it's their money. I've already gifted the house. I'm not taking it back. I did put a qualification on it, and that was that if they were to move out, that they would offer it back to me or back to a family member in the event that they want to get out of the city. So let's see what you guys are thinking. Not everyone's interested in science. Well, here's the deal on the science. Everything we have to touch on topics that everyone can understand. True. In fact, I'm going to start shifting gears here to prepare us for the future. You're always right on top of things, Great Lakes. So let's see, where were we at here? The collapse of religion will be huge wake up for the world. It is going to be huge, yes. And it's also going to free up a bunch of money. The backers are being taken down currently. The bankers, excuse me. The bankers or the backers? The backers or the bankers? I don't know. Either one. Um, there are things coming down right now. You're absolutely right. This thing's moving way faster than anybody expected, myself included. So they go in fear because they are programmed. You're exactly right. This programming is tough, very tough to break, and it's a slow process. If we don't take it slow, it's so overwhelming that people will faint. And it's okay to faint, and then you'll be lifted up again. I mean, you can only take it at such a rate. I fainted here a couple weeks ago, probably. I had received so much. I've been receiving so much. It's can only take so much, and then you faint. And when you faint, then you rest, and then you put yourself back together, and you learn your lessons. You given the teachings, you either accept the teachings and make them wisdom and move on, or you have to repeat. And we're just going to have to keep repeating the lessons as I repeat the lessons as well. You have to keep aware. So, yes, they are the way. Yeah, they need to turn off the media. And who controls the media? Well, of course, the deep state cabal, and the deep state cabal is being cut off, and the truth is coming out, and this is reality, and we need to manifest. We do need to manifest. You're correct. Um, I couldn't comment on the media and what's going on in the media. Are they talking about us becoming spiritual on the media? Are they talking about reconnecting to your miracle twin? And are they talking about uh, a total takedown of all government in the world and reforming in uh, uh, decentralized groups? And are they talking about taking and analyzing our entire language as we manifest? We can't be using these words. If we're manifesting these, we've got to know the meaning of these words, because uh, when I say I will, I wish pleasure. So yeah, the use, maybe if we're all quiet when we manifest, and you got to be careful with manifestation as well. You got to be careful what you ask for, and if a group asks for the wrong thing, it could be ugly. Okay. No, you're right. I can't talk to the average person about this. It has it has been too slow. Drip, drip, drip. Yeah. Wi-Fi to a person who doesn't know what a computer is. Yeah, yeah, right. Right. Exactly. You're exactly right. So, what will they understand? Um, what they've always understood, and that is initially uh, nobody understood what Tesla was doing. They couldn't even comprehend it, but slowly they got it. Slowly they got it. But what did they get? What did they understand with Tesla? He was doing amazing things, and those amazing things gave them new confidence and gave them an excitement and gave them a path to a projection, a direction to move towards, to work towards, to emulate. Let's see. Unfortunately, most only understand cash. Well, I went out of the house the other day without my wallet, as I'm absent-minded at times, but I didn't have my briefcase, so I did have my company checkbook with me, and I made the rounds because I've got to be very efficient with my shopping. I've got a lot, a lot, a lot. I need your help, guys. I need you two to help me. Maybe you guys can help me with the word. Um, Investigate what these words really mean, and we'll slowly put them on lists and put a scratch to them. Don't use these words, and let's get some ideas for some new words for meeting. This one here is MWE, or MEW, either one works. I'm kind of liking the second one here now. Muy, that means multiple. Okay. They go in fear causing there. Okay, I read that one. You can talk to the average. No, I read that one. You can explain what. Okay. Unfortunately, okay. Most only understand service to self. Well, that's going to change. Everybody that is going to be here that's still oriented into service to self, um, they're going to have a miserable time for a while. We're going to put up with them. I mean, they're going to be here. We're going to put up with them. We're going to slowly deprogram them. And those that are transitioning with, it's going to be a constant process. It's going to be a slow, constant process for all of us. But those that are not transitioning well, I'm setting up a healing zone here. Bring them to the right people on a one-to-one level, and just keep being kind to them. And somewhere along the line, they're going to get it. And okay, so this ones that are self-centered. Okay, they're not going to want to come together. They're going to want to, maybe they're going to, maybe they've already built a shelter underground. Like maybe they're a prepper, and they've got a shelter set aside for this, and they've got everything that they need in there for a year maybe, and they've got ammunition for 2 years. To anybody that comes up, wants something from them, they'll just shoot first and ask questions later. Well, at some point, they're going to have to run out of something. They're going to have to come out of their squirrel hole, and they're going to have to say, I need this, I need that. And then they'll soften. Everyone will soften in time. There is no slowly. This is happening fast and now. I don't know what more I can say. My reality is happening no matter what is being seen or believed. Well, it absolutely is happening, and there are still a bunch of people in denial. Some of us are aware that many of the people I know, and I've got some wonderful friends, many of the people I know have been walking the good red road for years and didn't know it. Because what they do is they have always, without a complaint, did whatever it took and suffered the sufferings, and they had no complaint. They didn't complain about it. They just, the meek shall inherit the world. These people that were poor and didn't even care if they rose up that high. They just accepted the suffering. They accepted the system. They didn't try to make it to the top of the pyramid. That was the good red road. They're true of heart. They're friends and everything. Everybody they treated equally and alike. They weren't so much about self. You can't answer a 5D question in a 3D mind. This is truth. Well, I would have to say I can't answer the question because I don't know what a 5D mindset is. I have a suspicion, but I really don't know. I don't know how to answer that, if that is a question. Compassion is needed. None of us were born with the understanding. We were caught up in the mix too. Well, see, I was fortunate enough to live in a family where it was a loving family, and that those lessons were there. If you embraced them, you could. It could become all about you, and each and every one of us in our life's experience have experienced those teachings if we were open to accept them. And now it's time to really be open and really be truthful with self first, And when I say self, I should be using this combined self, this new spirit that is within, include that with self. So it would be muy self. Got to come up with a term for that. Excellent. Exactly. You don't know. At some point, everybody will have a choice for themselves with path to take. I think that those that don't get the message about not taking the computer antivirus, without taking the computer antivirus, the vaccination for your computer, that's possible that there might be some loss that way. So I hope it doesn't get to that. I hope things move so quickly that doesn't happen. But that might thin the herd, as they think of us as a herd, that we are their sheep or their cattle. My point is, we need to stop looking at the past for the future. We want to create. We know what happened and what is happening now. So let's change it collectively. Exactly what we need to do. But we need to awaken a bunch of sleepwalkers, because the more that we get awoke, the more people that start this process, the more we come together, the better the future is going to be instantly. Now, if we got a bunch of people out there that are total self-centered, that if a powerful message can be given to them and more can be awoken, and that the faster that we can create this new future, we need to respect and be responsible. They need to do this visitation into the past long enough to realize that the sleepers, long enough to realize that there is no other way forward but peace. So, and there's even people awoke that are thinking that we'll just clean up this mess, we'll keep our money system, we'll keep our political structure, we'll just throw out the bad eggs, bring in some new ones. The bad eggs, it's like when you take a dictator out, they do this all the time, the CIA. How quickly they put another one in place. It's the same with our political system. It's when that much power corrupts. All power corrupts. Anytime that you're put in charge of a bunch of people, you become corrupted. So let's see where we left off. Well, that one wouldn't. We go back and forth about this or that, but bottom line is we all are connected. And GODS, God's. I prefer to use co-creator with the creator. That just because of the way that word has been corrupted, co-creator is much nicer. But you are correct. But the important footnote on that is that we are co-creators with our brothers and sisters on this earth, and our brothers and sisters. I should be flipping the camera around just to keep you guys awake. On this planet, as well as our brothers and sisters that are in the creation with us. Yes, but you lose people when you talk about science, since it doesn't connect to everyone. Well, there again, the word phenomenon. There was a movie, and I think it was, can't remember who it was. This brilliant guy, I can't remember, he got struck by lightning, he got sick, whatever happened. His brain swelled up and he got brilliant. Phenomenon. And he took it, someone was injured, and he read a book of Portuguese in this movie, and in the car ride to the place, he had instantly picked up Portuguese. So this phenomena was amazing. So what can be done with the science that I'm holding back? And I've got a math project that I haven't been able to get back to. And of course, I've got what's only locked up here in my head, because every scrap of paper with that, any of that knowledge, anybody came here, they wouldn't find it. It's all been out to the burn pile. It's all gone. It's only here in my head. One paper in that funny box I've got. It's the only record there is of what I know. We need to see results, not hope or faith. People have lost those years ago. What we've lost, what has been lost, is love. When you boil it all down, that the Creator is a loving God, that He forgives all, that He's given us an opportunity to experience, He's given us an opportunity to grow, He's given us an opportunity to He's given us all the gifts that came out of Pandora's box. Jar. Pandora's jar, the gifts. I have to tell you about this story too. There's something very special going on here. This was a failed experiment. It's going to be, every time I make a mistake, I learn something. It can be very important. This funny coating on this inside of this jar can be very important. So, where did I lose track? Oh, that's what we've lost, is love. We've lost, we need to, mankind needs to love mankind. Self has to learn, Mui needs to love Mui, if you will. The two combining here. We need to come together like a friendship, like in a relationship. Join, connect, and become one. When two become one. It's going to get biblical. We are all source. Actually, all is source. Every atom in the entire universe is the consciousness of source. Every atom, every frequency, every vibration, all energy is the consciousness of source. Where did I leave off? You think poor people care about science? How do you make them understand what you're talking about? Oh, well, actually, the poor people care about science. Absolutely. I see poor people with cell phones all the time. You don't think they care about technology and science? There are people that are poor as poor. Man, they got their cell phones. They got their flat screen TVs. Yeah, they care about technology. It'll become clear in time that how you can take a shiny something. You can take a shiny something, and you can use it to deliver a message. You know, look at this shiny something here, and while you're talking about this shiny something, you can introduce concepts. And while you have while you have a 15 seconds of fame, you can use that to introduce other important messages. And those that are asleep are not gonna. We could talk all day. I could put my family in a steel cage and I could lecture them for hours and hours and hours, and they would be unreceptive completely. They would say he's lost his effing mind. It's fine. Well, let's see. Let's see where we left off at. What did Scotty say here? Scotty, that is where the universe is going to step in Great Lakes, and Great Lakes is asking, how does that happen? Actually, the universe has already stepped in. that there's a battle going on above us that we don't even know, we are not aware of, that there there is they're clearing the slate for us up there above, and they're keeping the wolf from the door while they're waiting for us to do what has to be done here, and that they're not going to interfere with this because this is free will, that they don't want to influence this one way or the other. They are waiting for us to make this decision, this decision, and the decision has to be peace. If it's not peace, then it's uncertain what they do. But one thing is certain to me, that if we think that if we don't do the peace, then there's a good possibility that the reset will mean backwards, backwards. As the history book shows us, rise and fall. And we can't be trusted with these very, very powerful weapons and knowledge, that we'll get into trouble, and that they may not have to lift a finger. Maybe they just let the dark ones have the day. How am I going to wake up the poor? Same way I'm going to wake up the rich, the middle class. I'm just gonna share some science while I've got them busy, and their eyes are glazed with science. And I'm going to introduce some amazing truths of what this technology can do, and I'm going to enforce. That's not the right word. I'm going to suggest the only way forward to utilize all this stuff is a lasting peace, and that it may take more than a decade of peace before we have any contact with our star brothers. That's also kind of been prophesized, not by me. No disrespect, but I'm not feeling your vibe anymore. Well, you it'll take a while. It'll be a process. You'll understand the wisdom at some point. I'm kind of waiting for a special friend to join in with me at some point, because I need help. I am but one. I am but one. Oh, I do have a very special helper. Amazingly enough, my daughter. Yes, yes. Single man, one among so many. Reconnect. This should be somehow not just that we reconnect with everyone else, that we bring all these people together to come together and act as one in these small groups, but we also need to do this reconnection to spirit, as one is all is one. But yeah, my daughter's been very helpful here. She's just pointed something out to me about these antivirus programs that I didn't realize, because I haven't taken time to look at them. I just refused them. I didn't look at the ingredients. And she pointed out something very interesting about 2D metal. And she wanted to know what that was. And I told her, well, that suggests, and I better stop there. I might be giving away something I better not. Let's see. That's fine, Scotty. That's right. That's fine. He'll come around. You shut down the world and you can explain it when there are no more distractions. When we shut down the world, there will be very difficult to be messaging. Some of it's going to stay up, but there's going to be chaos. I mean, all of those sleepers are going to be still locked in fear, and there will be no talking to them then either. So again, the need to try to get as many woke up before that calamity, before the major event. The more that are engaged already and already, literally, it's going to be a day to day to day by day. Each day, we're going to we food, water, food, shelter, everybody. First day, and then make improvements as we move along. And if you've got chaos, I mean, I just talked to a guy came in out of Chicago. He said the freaking city of Chicago is like a nuts. It's like crazy up there, and I don't doubt it at all because they're getting it, they're sensing it, they realize it, that how fragile their system is. You know, those trucks don't keep rolling in with the goodies. There's no food, there's no water, there's no diddly squat. Probably no garbage pickup. You'll be swarming in garbage too. Let's see. Are you prior military? I am not. Thank goodness. Scotty question, are you prior military? Scotty says, no, I'm not military. So you have no idea what happens behind closed doors. I have some idea what goes on behind closed doors. I mean, I know people that I've known a lot of people that have had very high security clearances and they can't talk and won't talk. But simply by me asking them pointed questions and they say they can't comment, I already get the answer. So they didn't have to answer. Their denial or their refusal to answer answers the question. So they didn't breach their security, and I got my information. But yeah, there's some really crazy. We need to take the military's got to come down. They're paranoid schizophrenics. I mean, shoot first, ask questions later. They're almost that bad. But that's at the top. During the 60s and the riots, Nixon was with, I believe, Kissinger in the White House, and they encircled the White House with buses butted front to back because Nixon was afraid that they were going to freaking break down the door and come in and get him. That's the way I remember the story. Somebody can improve on that probably. But yes, fear. Let's go back here. Just because you read a book doesn't mean you have an experience. True. Absolutely true. I don't disagree with you. You can't enforce them. This is free will. No, you're right. I can't enforce them. I can't force them. I can't enforce them. That's another one of these word things that I'm looking at. I-N-E-N. Ooh, what do we use? How? Whoa, there's a bunch of freaking little hidden things in our language. I'll suggest to them peace. I won't enforce or force. I will lead them to a peace. I will show them my peace and share my peace with them. So I mean, that's how it's really got to come down, because it has to be at an individual level. Otherwise, it's meaningless. I mean, it has to be each individual accepts this totally. That's just how simple it is. No, that was meant for me. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. You can think taking down an evil person and replacing it with your ideas is going to fix it all. It is not possible. These are not my ideas. This is the collective consciousness's ideas. I'm just a sales rep, if you will. I have no power. I'm just equal. I'm just me. I'm one. I'm no greater or lesser than you. Yeah, I mean, the collective consciousness has already won the battle. Now, what is the whole meaning of what I'm doing? The whole meaning of what I'm doing is trying to soften the landing, that the more preparation done right now in the next 18 months or less, the better. And the more people that are on page, the softer the landing. Otherwise, there'll be suffering that's unnecessary. That's kind of the point. And we all got to start somewhere. So some of these people that are asleep now, the event happens and they're still asleep. We got the same problem then. So let's look at a positive way to wake them up and get on board, as opposed to after the event trying to not reprogram, unprogram, and let them reinvent self, as opposed to forcing them into some other mindset. Let them make the decisions. Let them receive the teachings. Let them grow slowly. Start the process now, in other words. I followed Nostradamus years ago, and you really need to be just like we have physicians with expertise, one for ear, nose, and mouth, and another for podiatrist. I was going to say another one, but I leave that to those experts, and even those experts differ. So, but I'll tell you what, Dolores Cannon on YouTube, she did these hypnosis things. She's put together a lot of good stuff. And then we've got the Naughty Beaver. The Naughty Beaver is gifted. I mean, he has been doing this reconnecting thing. It's obvious to me that he has very good messaging, and I follow him. I follow Carrie Cassidy when I have time, but I haven't really had time. I think Naughty put up something here in the last 18 hours or something. Maybe when I finally have my brunch, I'll take a look at and see what Naughty's doing. But yeah, I respect Nostradamus and the brilliance because he is a powerful spirit that has actually infected change. Is that his coded Quantros are of multiple timelines. He even realized then that there were multiple timelines that we could go down. So he went down different timelines, and there's some of those that'll never be true because we chose a different timeline. So he was way ahead of the game. Yes, good work by Nostradamus. Let's see. The vaccines are coronavirus. When you get the vaccination, you are taking the virus without knowing. Well, that goes back to what my daughter brought to my attention. There are things in that antivirus software. There are things in the antivirus software that really need to be questioned. I would like to know what the source is of this 2D metal. Who's the manufacturer of it? We're going to ask to be taking this. I want to know who's manufacturing this 2D metal. Where's it come from? Who's manufacturing it? What is it? Where's it from? Why is it in there? And they'll say, well, that is an activator. It's a catalyst. It's a catalyst. Well, I want to know where it's being manufactured, and I want to know who's manufacturing it, and I want to know more about that 2D metal, because that's a big key right there for me. Just that they called it a 2D metal. I have got a hard drive here. And honestly, this one isn't it. But it is a 1 gigabyte hard drive. I traveled to Oregon. I can look up the year if it's important, but to meet Barry Carter in Oregon, Baker, Oregon. and I spent a week there. And for a week, he loaded up everything there was on Ormus, uh, orbitally modified. It, it's another state of matter, is what it is. And Ormus is a 2D metal. That when you put a band of metal on my chart of elements, when you put this certain band of metal into 2D, that the weight, the actual weight of it, if you put it on a scale, the weight of it, not just the atomic numbers, the actual mass of it reduces by 40 to 50%. And what is going on is it becomes a superconductor. And now, if 2D metal in the computer software antivirus, is being used as either a connector, or it is being used as a to join things together, or it's being used as like an antenna, like a superconductive wire. Either one is scary, but point being is, I'll be looking into that. Let's see. Obama tried the emergency alert message from, and who would listen anyhow? I wouldn't listen to the presidential thing. It's all a rigged system. Yeah, that's how you connect everything through a presidential emergency communication. Yeah, they can turn off everything and just flash Trump's picture up, and half of the TVs and all the equipments, if they didn't get a hammer thrown at them, they would get turned off immediately. Suggest peace without giving a definition of your idea of peace doesn't work. My idea of peace is that everybody becomes love. My idea of peace is all hierarchical. I think I got that right. All hierarchies have to be disassembled. We can't have. Where's that at? I got my mother's into the Catholic Church. We get this thing called Columbia, and in this the cardinals, superior this, superior that, superior this, commanders. It's all military. Even in the freaking knights, that's what they call them, superior knights. Those are warriors. A definition of peace: that which is not war. Anything that is not war. Love your neighbor like yourself. Love your family like yourself. Treat them like you would like to be treated. That's the definition of peace. It might mean no ownership. I think possession is 90% of the law. So my aunt has 80 acres out back here. Nobody comes to farm it. I'm going to go out there and farm it. If everything's shut down, I'm going to go out there and farm it. And we're going to worry about, what's the family farm before that. I don't care. Somebody out there farming it, I'm not going to mess with them. I mean, should I get 80 acres to farm? Well, if I'm going to give the food away, or I'm going to produce food for trade for things that I need, I think I have a right to do that. That I am serving others and only by producing a crop can I expect anything back. So it's like I'm giving, and hopefully somehow I'll be receiving. When you say experts don't mean anything. Look at the weathermen. They are all called experts. The weathermen, the experts of all, had to sign top secret security clearances. You can no longer be a weatherman on any broadcast network if you have not signed a secret agreement, and that you will take your directions from the government. So is that what you're getting at? I'm confused. What, experts. Here's the problem with experts. I'm gonna continue to show you science that one person has figured out that is beyond all the things, all the experts, all the freaking sciences, books and books and books and full of science. And yet I'm going to demonstrate that the experts are wrong, or the experts are being shut up. They are not sharing what they know, or they're sharing it in the secret circles of the secret societies of the whatever. So yeah, experts. Let's see. NB is great. Yes, I agree. NB is initials, or is the abbreviation for naughty beaver. And he is only focused on the worst case scenario. Now that's not true. He is actually trying. He's actually. Uh, no, I disagree. That Naughty Beaver is actually uplifted. He is joyous. And he injects humor and he lightens people up. And he goes live, man. As many people scramble to him as possible because knowledge reduces fear. Knowing helps. Even if it's, like I say, I plight thee my truth. Even if it's a sad truth, it's some truth. And that calms fear, just having some knowledge and knowing. So, no, he's got a very positive message, the last I saw. And I'll tell you this right now, Great Lakes. Some point in my life, I'll be meeting Naughty Beaver. I'll guarantee you that. Maybe sooner than I know. And not because I'm some kind of a celebrity. I think we have some work to do together. And I've got a couple other people I've got some work to do with because I'm going to share what I have with these people that need this even before this event happens, that we need to get some things started, that we need to affect some cures. And if I can do that quietly and not get anybody hurt who's trying to help me, then I'll do that. Everyone has a kill switch. Everyone. What does that mean? Everyone has a kill switch. Gates. Black goo. Well, I just had an insight into black goo. There's two kinds. There's the native one here, and there's the one that probably came from Tiamat when that planet was destroyed. And do you remember that oil spill? That oil spill we had, and oh my gosh, I was trying to come with a way, to figure out a way to plug that hole so that would be stopped. And I never came up with anything. Even if I would have, nobody would have listened. How do you get that message to them? That oil spill was about black goo. That these people were mining black goo, I think. Or, that platform was literally, I believe that they were extracting black goo for its use maybe today. Black goo left alone, the second one from Tiamat, I believe black goo left alone is fine. All it wants to do is come together. Come together. That black goo could potentially be in the aerosol injections. That could be part of the chemtrail program. And what does it want to do? It wants to come together. And it's Ormus again, and that's a superconductor. So we got, could that possibly have something to do with 2D and these vaccinations? Could that have something to do with the chemtrails? Could that all be adding up to this thing that it means no harm? It just wants to come back together, and it wants to be left alone. But it wants to come back together. Its life function is to come together, and that was why it was part of the gifts for Tiamat, was that it came together and it had a purpose and it had a function. So these are insights that I haven't investigated yet. I have to get to work. I have a lot of work to do because we need these explanations. We need at least to to be able to ask the right questions. So much of what I have been able to do is because I was willing to fail by asking the wrong questions. And then when you ask enough of the wrong ones, every 15th or every 100th, you'll ask the right question one time and you'll figure it out, or you'll begin to figure it out, or you'll get to the next question. So the moral or the lesson is be willing to fail to be willing to enable success. That if you're not willing to make an effort first and fail, then there's no way that you can ever get to the success. And I think both of you guys would know that since you're both self-employed. Let's see. If you haven't watched David Wilcox, I have not. Last two videos, I highly suggest you do. The man knows more than anyone I know. Do I agree with everything? Question? No, but almost all. So for me, he is in the know. Or, yes, he's in the know. I don't disagree with you. I don't know if you know who. I don't know if you know who this guy is. What is his name? I've got his email address here. This is the one with the 15 spiritual lessons. His name is escaping me right now. He does the soul reports. Gary something. You can look him up on his website, www.icheckyoursoul.com. At icheckyoursoul.com. Gary, maybe Carlson, I'm blinking. Maybe it's Gary Carlson. He put together a list of wanderers, people that came from outside of the solar system to reincarnate here and to do important work. And he's given them a rating as well, 1 to 4 being 4 being very high on the scale of effective talent and that they're effective messaging. And David Wilcox got a 4. So, and I went and saw him in 2018, and I walked out of one of his lectures. And if you've ever been in if you ever been given a lecture and had somebody walk out, it sends a message. So why did I walk out on his lecture? Because I disagreed with what he was talking about in the science. So yes, I have my disagreements with him, that just as I mistranslate things, he mistranslates things as well, or he reaches beyond his knowing, which all of us are guilty of. That's called be willing to make a mistake, to be, to learn a lesson and to go beyond. So yes, I agree to disagree with him, but yes, his message is powerful, and yes, he hung out. Him and Carrie Cassidy hung out together, and I have a lot of respect for Carrie Cassidy. She's takes the journalistic approach to all of that she does, and that training is to be non-biased, interview people that most people wouldn't have anything to do with. Farad, I don't know. There was a couple that you wondered why she interviewed him, because even in his delusional, even in their delusional and their distorted views, that there's truths in there, and doing it in the manner that she does it and asking a few pointed questions, just brilliant work. She's she gets a number 4 from me as well. I don't even know if she's a wanderer. He says nuclear war is coming. Lots left. How is that possible? I think that there's going to be a limited exchange, is what I believe. That what and it might be like uh, one of these suitcase, you know, one of these that those that are helping up above can't really directly influence the outcome of. I mean, if we were to launch a bunch of intercontinental stuff, they could affect a change there, but uh, that's a little too close to home trying to stop a suitcase nuke or whatever. I have no knowledge. I won't even speculate. I'll just say that if that is going to occur, that's going to be very limited. That's my hope as well as my suspicion. How does understanding what the Q movement really is? He doesn't see the military operation that's happening currently. I'm assuming that he doesn't. Is you're referring to David Wilcock? Uh, I have the Q movement. I don't think you can see that from there. Up here, I got the Queen of Hearts up there. You know, that's going to be about words as well. But on the opposite side of that Queen of Hearts, there's one turned over that has a diamond on it. And yeah, I think you remember what we were referring to about the Queen of Hearts and the Queen of Diamond and how that relates to the Q movement. You know, I think you get my drift, Great Lakes. Go back and look. I think we talked about it. It takes a very open mind to see the big picture later out for you. Then you have to expand your picture by 100% and start looking at the I don't know what, laid not later, picture laid out for you. Yes, no. That's why I say we have to start thinking about the future. We absolutely need to. We need that shiny. We need that. It's so helpful to have the shiny reward in mind when we start doing this incredibly difficult work. That yeah. It helps to be goal oriented, and you put the fear. It helps you put the fear and the doubt and the mistrust, and to build the trust. And absolutely, we need to do that. 100% agree with that. Okay, Great Lakes, no NB. What do you mean about no NB? No naughty beaver what? You don't like naughty? No, you like naughty, don't you? Or you think that I'm not going to meet with naughty? No, naughty and I got an important mission together. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. We're going to have so many laughs. It'll be amazing. Q is hundreds of like-minded individuals who want world peace and full disclosure. This has been in the works since JFK. BS. Don't believe that. I don't believe that for a minute. I won't exactly say why, but I have a very high suspicion that has to do with that card I got up there. That one that's turned its face to the wall. I'm going to read David Wilcock understands Q. Naughty Beaver doesn't get it since he's too focused on others. Even a number 4 wander, can be wrong. I can be wrong. Anybody can be wrong. We can all be wrong. I'm just going on my gut feeling because I go with that. And I think that that'll be revealed that Q wants to stay in the hierarchy. They want a continued hierarchy. So their peace means, oh, we saved the day, no nuclear war. Just like, where was that? Where was this? Yeah. This book here. Yeah. This bomb here. This bomb here. It saved us. The creation of this bomb, we were told, would end all wars. I'm sorry, all that is not peace. It would all things would be peace after we created this one here, and that no one would ever go there again. And that Q is not suggesting the disassembling and decentralization at all. They're in fact there's these two great powers that are colliding, that are fighting and battling right now. And Q's on one side of that great power. Q wouldn't have a voice if he wasn't a part of that great power. Yes, there are white hats, and there is no more greater programmed than the military. They follow orders because there is a command structure that has to be, they don't serve willingly. They are forcibly into this command structure. They're forcibly into this hierarchy. You will take your orders. You will execute your orders. That is the military. No questions. This is what you do. Q, this is what they do. So I don't buy it. Mm-hmm. I hide the truth. You hide the truth. Why do I hide the truth? What truth am I hiding? Why can't you say why? This is why I don't believe you. What part am I concealing? Everyone is wrong. That is why we work together. But saying you won't tell us doesn't give you confidence, doesn't give me confidence about what you're saying. Okay, so I'm doing a time released program. So in other words, all these things that these sleepwalkers don't want to know, don't want to hear, won't listen to. If I'm putting up programs here and I'm sharing a little bit of science, a little bit more, next it'll probably be the mathematics. And then, the grand finale will be when I talk about the subatomic particle and that box in there, that box behind there that's locked. That box will be, it'll be put where no one can find it when I finally reveal what's the contents of the box. And the whole idea is that if they want to try to understand the science, if they want to dig for just the science, that they're going to have to watch some of this, and they're not going to enjoy it. But in doing it, they're going to start breaking their program down. They're going to start, and then it's going to work backwards. Okay, so you have the program, and then or the big announcement, and then people want more. They'll go back in here and dig, and they'll see some of this. There are conversations here, and they'll start to open their eyes up slowly, and then in this way, if I got my 15 seconds of fame, boom, none of this message. They would get that, and that would be all they get. So it has to be a time release, and then they'll backtrack and get the message. And I hope you understand that, because that's how it's going to go down. True. That which is not peace does not solve anything. Agreed. That is not the military. I'm sorry. If you don't serve, you don't know. Well, I never did serve, but I had a lot of friends that did, and I understand that at boot camp they break you. So that sounds like once you're broke, then they can rebuild you into whatever they want you to be, and that is that you're to take care of your brother. There's those guys with the pyramid, and at the top they put number 32 or something like that. That you're to look out for your brother. You're to serve your brother. You're supposed to rat him out when you see him do something wrong, because when he's when he's doing something wrong, it hurts the strength of the unit. I guess Great Lakes that you were service. You were Great Lakes. I hope that it was Marine. Please inform us at what branch of the service you were in that you have these insights and knowledge. Time is running out. Stop putting off what we should be sharing now. Disagree. That after the CV thing blows over, the CF, the fear from C, after that blows over, oh, everything's fine, everything's wonderful. Oh, we're gonna get a handout from DT. We're gonna get $1,000 each. Everything's wonderful again. The poor will go out and buy groceries, and the middle class will buy a new flat screen freaking TV, and they'll forget about it like that. Yeah, we're running out of time, all right. We are. I need to pick up the pace, but I've got a lot to prepare here, and I thought I was going to have a little help from some special people. You talk about the science doesn't make a difference. You need to talk and explain to the masses like they're kids. The hive mind has to be broken, period. Um, well, the hive mind suggests that there's the beehive structure. And in the beehive structure, everybody has a job. So, um, we're not bees. We are more than bees. I won't say we're equal, but we're more. We have free will where they have intuition, and intuition is their self, is their spirit guide. Their intuition is their spirit guide, and they have all of them. The queen has all the structure of the hive has a job, and we have free will, and we have consciousness, and we have much, much more. But our collective consciousness is still hive-like. In other words, the 51% come together in a focused effort, and they actually manifest things. So is that a hive? Still a hive mindset that we're being herded like cattle right now. There's been people that say if the herd's going that way, go this way. There's some truth to that. But you should always be running to something and not running away from something. In other words, don't let blindness be your guide. Let truth and knowledge be your guide. Wisdom. Let's see, where are we at? Super soldiers. Max Spears. Max Spears was a good man and has passed. Super soldiers. Yes. When they wiped out 6.5 billion people, the remaining 500,000 will be the healthiest, strongest ones that survived their test, and they'll be loaded up with all kinds of technology, internally, externally, and they will become the super soldiers. And yes, sure, there's already prototypes. So, and that's about all I have to say about that. Marines infantry. I just sensed it was a Marine. Well, thank you for your service, and I hope that you've successfully deprogrammed because, and I would just say this: if you had to do it over again, would you do it over again? Would you? Would you? I'm going to take it that you were enlisted because you're younger than I am, and there was no draft then. So you enlisted. Would you do it again? And you say yes. Um, I know the why would be a big long answer. Um, I would guess the main reason why is because regardless of what you were doing, the fellowship that you achieved was great. That you actually trusted the men standing beside you. You trusted them, they trusted you, and that you guys became an amazing, awesome team in good times and in bad. Would that be kind of a short answer for why you would repeat? Why have consciousness? They don't like most people in the world. Why have consciousness? Why? I guess why they don't like most people in the world. Um, I get a yes there. I saw the good in the people. Absolutely. That's what we always have to do. We always have to see the good in the people, regardless of the circumstance. And that's what's coming. That's what's coming. That's what's going to be great. And you know what? I'm going to have to shut it down here because I really do have to get going. Um, well, I sure wish I could put you guys on assignment. You guys missed a little bit in the beginning before we started. And among other things, oh, I got so many things to do. It's unbelievable. I have to prepare for a journey, and I got my old truck. I'm going to have to take my old truck quite a ways here to possibly go pick my daughter and her stuff up. She'll be moving out of her apartment, I'm pretty sure, and it's not roadworthy yet now. And I take that last little rent check and probably put it into the truck. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it there and back. Well, Great Lakes agrees with me. I agree with you on it's coming and the time is now, and so true. Going back to watch the beginning. All right, great having you guys. And um, we need to sit down. All of us need to sit down, make a list, and think about. You guys are probably better than most. We need to think about how we spend. I'm recycling my paper. I'm not wasting anything. I'm not. I'm not. I was going to use some Scotch tape. There might not be Scotch tape. I figured out how I could take this off and peel this off real carefully. This label on this yoga jar. I picked up some farmers matches. That's something I would miss very much down the road if I had to go a year without purchasing something. It's like I want to have some wooden matches. I want to have some string, but I made string out of this. I'm Mr. I've never made more than $40,000 a year. I think I can honestly say that I am Mr. Repurpose. Ultimate recycling is repurposing. Others would call it a hoard, a junkyard. Sorry, if it didn't go to landfill and somehow I reutilize it, I buy things in glass as much as I can because I can't even recycle the glass now. They don't even have recycling where I was taking my recycling. They don't even do glass anymore. So I'm just starting to save my glass. I can come up with corks. I can clean those bottles and fill them with water. That's what I'm doing. I'm filling bottles with water. When I want to take a little break, I go over to the distiller. I have a distiller. That's part of the healing zone. That's part of the microgreen garden. We needed dead water. I drink it. I bottle it. I'm going to have enough for the household for a while. think about, make a list, check it twice. We just went through this. People need to take some time, not go out and hoard. If there's 5 on the shelf, take one. You know, there's one on the shelf and you need it, take it. If you don't, if you're just replenishing a supply that you're rotating out, like, you know, a can of nice organic black beans, and there's only one on the shelf, leave it. If you've got enough now, you know, be mindful of others. Slowly put together a list, a wish list. Also, if you know you can't afford it, put together a wish list of what you'd like. I wish everybody had a propane generator and a big tank of gas, because if the grid goes down, you got your neighbors, they'd come over and hang out with you and have a good time. Maybe have a fire. But you know, if you're coming to the fire, y'all, they're all going to be welcome to a fire, but you know, you got to earn your way to it. So thanks, you guys, and I will have a great day. And see, in the beginning here, I talked about this. Keep aware, and aware of lessons. And even I have many, many lessons to learn. And I say, even we is teaching me, my new connections, constantly giving me lessons, and I'm constantly learning. And it can be overwhelming at times, but we all have our speed, and we'll take it a day at a time. Thanks.